Hi guys, I'm Chris. Welcome to this week's tutorial. Let's draw together.
In this week's tutorial, I'll be drawing a man in Procreate, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be showing you how to use the male body brush box that makes drawing men super simple and easy to do. These are stamp brushes that are available for Procreate, Photoshop, Affinity, and as well as layers in Illustrator, Photoshop, PNGs, and PDFs so that you can print them out and draw on paper as well if you want to. It's just a guide to help you draw real people simply, easy, and fast. So if you are interested in finding out more about these brushes, I put a link in the description below. You can find them there. And don't forget, once you finish this entire video, to share it on Instagram and tag me in the image as well as the description so I can find your artwork and feature you here in the next Draw It Together video. So for this video, you don't need to have a color palette, so you can just use whatever color you like. So let's get started and make our canvas 4000 by 4000 pixels, 300 dpi. It's a square. We don't really need a square, but it's nice to have a little extra white space sometimes. So I'm going to go and find my body brushes to start. So I'm going to go in, there's a husky build, there's 14 body positions, athletic build, same thing, 14, and slim build. So today I'm going to grab the athletic build, and I'm going to have him in the old classic adjusting the sleeve pose. So I'm going to have it 100% and about 80% opacity, or sorry, 100% opacity, 80% in size, and just tap, and there he is. So that's good and easy. Next, I'm going to go create another layer just so that I can move the head into the right position. So I'm going to go and grab the male head here, and I'm just going to grab, I'll show you first. There are 15 front views with different hairstyles, 15 3/4, profile, and 3/4 down. So I'm going to start with just doing a profile head, and I'm going to pick a hairstyle that would suit. I think this should be good. Let's just go also at 80%. There it is. And then with our arrow, we can move it into place. You can make his neck how long you'd like it. And so I think right about there should be good. There. And then I'm just gonna go and click on that and merge down. So it's one thing. So I'm just gonna click on my arrow, make them just a smidge bigger. Okay. And now I'm going to click on the N and bring the opacity down to 30% just so that we can draw over top. And I'm going to create a new layer and go and grab our regular free Procreate brushes. So I'm just going to go into inking and grab the dry ink for our line work. And today I think he'll be a little bit fancier, and we'll do, we'll do a casual suit on him. So a little fancier than just the average, but especially these days, it's fancier than pajamas. But we'll get him dressed up here. So I'm just going to start with the collar, and I'm going to make it open. And so it's a little bit more relaxed. Like that. Zoom in for you. Okay, just come over like that. Okay, and then his suit is going to come around here, and I want it to come over this way so that it shows that he has depth in his chest. Like that. And bring it around, and it's going to have, oops, the lapel here, and then the lapel going down like this. From the other side, similar thing. So I just want it a little bit sharper. Okay. And then the suit can sort of be open like that. Oops, that was fine. And can come down Maybe we'll make this one just a little bit more, oops, that's quite big. Make this a little bit more open here. Just so it, actually, honestly, I want it to come in on the side. So I want to show the shirt here. So let's just again make this a little bit more open. So that comes on the other side there. So it would be opened here. I think that makes sense. Okay, and then I'm going to come in and do the sleeve, and I'm going to make sure the sleeve looks like it's structured because there will be all the shoulder pads, etc. in there. So this should be fairly a little bit more stiff looking, and then it'll fold here. And then this line will be fairly straight. Same with here. Just try to establish that structured look a little bit. Okay, and let's see, let's bring this up here. Oops. I'm gonna just erase that. I need to have a sleeve here. Probably a couple buttons here. It's probably better. And then his sleeve here would come, it would be open a little bit, so give it a little bit of a gap. And I think this would come probably more like that. This come in here. Okay. And there would be buttons there too. Would be a little bit more shortened. So it's really easy with these guides. You can see this foreshortened arm and all that kind of stuff is really wonky to draw sometimes. So it's already thought out for you. So you can just, you don't have to worry. You can just trace over it and lay your clothes on it and it just makes sense. So very, very easy and just makes it so much simpler. I really made these for myself originally when I first made the female version of these brushes. And I just thought, oh, well, if I like these, then surely other people will too. And so I think it's just makes it so much easier to learn and to just be able to design and play around and just have fun. Okay, so that's looking all right. I wonder if this maybe is a tad on the small side. Just trying to get it in there. Okay. Okay, and his shirt will come down here. All right, and then his pants are going to be maybe about here, just below his belly button. So I think his shirt will have a little bit of relaxed look to it. And then his belt will have here, very shaky line. I think we'll have to do a belt loop, of course, forgetting. Let's see if that looks all right. I think that's good. Okay, and then we'll get in the fly area, and then the seam go here. And maybe a little bit room around the knee and then ending approximately there. That should look good. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, I wonder, do I have his suit jacket long enough? It's hard to tell. I think that's all right. Maybe I have his belt a touch low. Maybe that's what it is. It should be on his belly buttons, probably. Let's just move that up. So I've gone to my magic wand and gone to push. Oh, sorry. I've gone to my magic wand and gone to liquefy and then to push, and I'm just gonna push this up a touch. It just looks like a little bit sloppy. I think that looks better. Perhaps this is sort of the wrong angle here. And we can just clean up our lines a little bit. This is why I usually do a sketch layer first, but that's okay. We'll miss that step today. All right, and I would say you would probably have a pocket here. And you'd probably see kind of some lining on the inside there. Okay, good stuff. All right, and let's see, with the shoes, maybe we would have some sort of, maybe a boot or something like that. So we'll just kind of follow his foot line to some degree, kind of come out a little bit more at the toe. And then we're gonna give it some width down the bottom and a heel. Okay. Maybe that would be all right. It looks kind of funny when you don't have it all done yet. Okay. I think this pant leg is a touch short. I know that can be a style, but I'm not sure I like it for this. Let's just get this going here. All right. I think that was a bit better. Much better. Okay, I think I'm just gonna subtly indicate a little bit of hem there. And then there's going to be a seam down the sides and inner thigh from his pants. So I'm just gonna draw that, give it a little wiggle on the knee. And then from here, and that kind of helps. Oops, moving my hook setup here. That kind of helps understand where the legs are too, just sort of the angles. Okay, so that looks better. Good. Okay, so then let's get to his face here. So of course the faces are just a very general, basic, classic proportions. By no means are they everyone's proportion at all, but use these as just like a base, a guide to jump off of, and then just, you know, adjust your proportions for somebody specific, and it just makes it so much easier. So you just have a starting point to jump from. So you can make it all different, but at least you know where to begin. Oops. I'm following the guides basically today, so just make it easier on myself. figure out the subtlest lines can make all the difference with a face especially. So with the brows, of course, men are going to have probably a heavier brow, most often anyways. Maybe a little lower, maybe a little thicker, and that should be good. For the lashes, I'm just going to make this line just a touch thicker. I'm not going to do much more than that. All right, and there we have a face. I mean, that was pretty quick, right? So not too bad. And then with the hair, this is just to get you started too, just kind of get some placement of where the part and where the hairline would normally start. Again, feel free to adjust any of that too. I'm just focusing mostly my little lines on the roots. I'm letting it be a little bit lighter on the edges. Oops, this lines look funny. Just trying to do my lines the way the hair would naturally fall. See if that's enough for now. That should be good. Okay, so we have a man. We can really just leave the sketch at that for the most part, I think. Just trying to think of any other little details I've missed. Well, I'm sure I'll figure it out while I keep going. Oops, I'm just gonna put some depth to that buckle. Okay. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and fill everything in. I'm just gonna do every section in a solid color just to start, and I know you know how to do this, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit while I go through. So I'm gonna just go to the line, or to the layer below, add another layer, and just I'm gonna pick the skin color, and I'm just gonna use arbitrary colors right now, and then I'll make some adjustments in a bit. So I'm just gonna go to my brushes, go to inking and studio pen, and just fill in the skin section. Next, I'm going to create another layer and just go and grab, I'm just going to grab a gray for now. I haven't decided exactly what color this is going to be yet. So we're just going to fill in the jacket and the pants on two separate layers. gonna grab another layer for the shoes. And I'm going to grab another layer. Actually, I'm going to put this layer below at the very bottom and just go and grab just a lighter gray just for the shirt so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to just go and do another layer and put, well, let's just make it this color. Just do this inside lining here. Don't worry, it won't be that color. Okay, so now to make some decisions on some colors. Why don't we do a navy blue blazer? Let's see, something kind of gray. Let's see what that looks like. Oh gosh, I gotta do all these spots here. Okay, something like that, and maybe, let's say, a white shirt, and I don't know, tan pants. Let's see. Maybe like that. It's fun designing. And then we can have sort of that style of shoe. Maybe a hair warmer. And that same color for the belt. Okay, and then maybe we could do a pop. Maybe, I can't talk today. Maybe we can do a pop of color on the inside. Maybe just, I don't know. Maybe that. Just dull it a little bit. Okay. And his belt buckle, I would like it to be more of a goldy color. Not that. It's too orange. Let's see. All right, I think that could work. Sort of business attire, I guess. And let's just block in his hair a little bit too, because that's kind of annoying me. Okay, so I'm going to be above the skin layer. I'm just going to add another layer. Should we make him blonde? I don't know. I haven't done blonde hair in a little while, so let's go painting and just be on my gouache, and it's gonna be around 8%, 100% opacity, and 8% is way too big. Let's go to 3 or 4% and just color this in. Just to get a layer down. Okay. So he's all basically blocked in. I think that's good for a start. So next we're gonna shade in all the colors and make it look a little bit less flat. So to do that, I'm going to go and first select my pants layer, this layer, and I'm gonna grab that and hit the plus sign, click on the layer and click, and I'm going to click clipping mask, and I'm going to select this color that I've chosen here, and actually I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to fill the pants layer with that lighter color, and I'm going to go to my clipping mask layer and get the original color and go to my spectra and just bump up the spectra brush and just really lightly just shade it in. I'm just giving it a little bit of texture. It just gives it, you know, a little less flat look. And then I can bring that down to about size 6 and start doing a little bit of shading with that, just kind of getting it to look a little bit more fabric-like. You'll have a little bit more of a shadow in that area, below his belt here, a little. Maybe a little bit more in the knee area. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. It's enough for now. And then I'm going to go to the jacket layer. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to select that color. I'm going to make that just a hair lighter to fill that. Oh goodness, I gotta fill it all back in again. There we go. And then I'm going to select a new layer, click on it, and select clipping mask. Then go back to that original darker color. And then with my spectra brush quite large, just give it a light dusting. Maybe a little heavier on this side because we know it'll be shadowed. And then bring it back down to size 3 or 4 and go in and do a few shadows here. Oops, a bit too small. All right. And then I can go in and go to get a little bit of a darker color by going down and to the right, a little L shape. Just highlighting a few areas, just getting them a little darker. Okay, so that's, I think, good for the jacket. So I'm gonna get the shirt now. So I'm just gonna go to the white shirt layer, add a new layer, make a clipping mask, and just bring this up to a lighter blue. And I'm gonna grab my gouache paintbrush, and it's gonna be at about 4 or 5%, and just bring in some shadows here, just pushing that back. See, I need to finish this shirt a little bit. I'm missing some buttons and whatnot down here. Okay, so before I forget, because I will forget, I'm just gonna go back to my line layer, grab the black, grab my dry ink, and just finish off this shirt here. There. I'm sure he appreciates it. Okay. That's fine for the shirt, I think. Why don't we do the boots? Our boots are here, boots and belt. Just put another layer on top. You guessed it, clipping mask. Just gonna select this brown color, and I'm gonna go to my painting, back to gouache, and just bring in some shadows here. Oops, no, better make it darker first. So I'm gonna go down and to the right a little bit, and there. Now we can have some shadows. Okay, and then maybe a little bit in the belt here. Okay, and then while we're here, I'm just gonna put some highlights on too. So I'm gonna just bring the color way up here, still with my gouache, maybe a little bit smaller, about 2%, and just throw in some highlights there. Oops, a bit much. Okay, that should be fine for now. Okay, so why don't we do the skin next? I'm going to click on the skin layer, make a new layer, make it a clipping mask. Just grab that skin color, click on it, go down and to the right, so that L shape. Now we have a nice shadow. I'm going to be at about 5% with my gouache and just start to bring this in. Maybe a little bit smaller just to get into these fingers a little bit. Putting a little shadow in between the fingers is always a good idea. Makes them look a little less sausagey. Oops. Okay. Oops. Okay, just get in the ear here. That's good. A really easy thing to do with the eye is just get that socket darkened. Just like a circle or an egg on its side, that sort of ovally shape. And then I'm going to be at 2%. Go under his nose, bring it in the side a little bit. You can also go under his lip, of course. Okay, and you can just go where his cheekbones would be, right about here. Just give that a little shadow. I like to go around the hairline just a little bit. Okay. You can bring the color a little bit darker, again, doing that L shape, and just make a few more little touches just with that darker color. Okay, I think that's good. So let's get his face worked on a little bit. I'm going to stay here and just add another layer and go and grab, we're in the brown, so that's fine, kind of not all white, not gray, just sort of a soft warm gray or something. Just quite like, because you don't want it to be 100% white, it'll look kind of funny. And just fill that in, and that's all we need to do for that. And then we're just going to grab a blue color and fill in that little speck of eye there. And while I'm here, I'm going to go to the very top layer, my sketch layer, and just get total white and just do a little, whoops, still with my gouache, just go make it as small as possible, the 1%, and just do itty bitty dot there. I think I made it bump out a little bit too much, actually. There's fine. Okay, and let's get some lip color. We can just stay on the eye layer, that's fine. And just go to the skin color and make it a little bit more pink and maybe a little bit deeper. Let's see how that is. I don't want them to be too pink. I think that's probably okay, and maybe we'll make it just a touch darker for the upper lip. that's fine. And yeah, with staying in these colors areas, we can just go and give him a little bit of a cheek, a little bit of color on his cheek. Actually, I want it a little bit darker than that, a little bit warmer, a little bit of color in there. Okay, and we can go, I'm just going to add another layer just to do my highlights. Get that skin color you have, go up and to the left like a reverse L. Have your brush around 3% maybe, and just bring in a little bit of highlights here. Just a few, I'm not going crazy. All right, just to give him a little bit of depth. Okay, so he's looking pretty good. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of the hair here so he doesn't have a total Ken hairdo, I guess. Just gonna grab this color. I'm gonna do the L down and to the right and make it darker around the roots. Just sort of bringing some of this other color in here. Just making it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to actually make it quite a bit darker at around 2%. Really just small around the roots. No matter how blonde you are, you usually have some darkness in the roots there. Most likely anyway. Okay, and then I can go and just make it something really quite light and just throw a few highlights in here. Maybe even a little bit lighter. Just a few. Okay. Well, I think that's probably good for today. That gives you a good idea of how to use these brushes and all the things you can do. And this can be totally different. It can be this style or a completely different style, painted, realistic, or more cartoony. You can change it up and make it whatever you want. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of new tutorials just like this one in the future. I post every single Tuesday, and I'd love to see you back here. So thank you so much for watching. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.